Let's start with most valuable player. Josh Allen, minus 300. Lamar Jackson, plus 225. Lamar's a 17.5-point favorite on Saturday against the Browns. And Josh Allen is probably going to play for like one to four snaps on Sunday for the Bills Patriots in the regular season finale. Allen has a consecutive game started streak, so he will start the game and probably do nothing but hand the ball off. It might just be literally he starts, hands the ball off, and exits the game for Mitch Trubisky. I wouldn't be shocked if that's what it is. So how do you handicap most valuable player right now with Allen as a minus 300 favorite?
Yeah, I think right now it's a hunter and gathering season right now. Like, as somebody who bets a lot of the awards, we're getting to the final week. I'm looking to read and listen and watch whatever anybody who has a vote is saying. And based on all of that, I think Josh Allen kind of left the door open just a little bit, not all the way open. I think he's a justified favorite to win this award, but I do think that the betting market is a little bit aggressive in making him minus 300 because, like, think about it. Like Josh Allen had the phenomenal games against the Rams, the great game against the 49ers, the great game against the Detroit Lions. He obviously beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, he probably has the two most impressive wins, win over KC, win over Detroit, maybe the two top seeds in the NFL once we get to the playoffs. But that's also been a little bit like a while ago. Like, it's like a few weeks ago. And the last couple of weeks against the Patriots and the Jets, not the most impressive Allen games. Like, the Patriots game was pretty meh. Like, that's the game that probably started a lot of this conversation of, hey, can Lamar actually win this award? Can he chase him down? The Jets game, like 16 of 27, less than 200 yards under his passing prop, had a couple of touchdowns and ran for a touchdown. So, like, from a touchdowns perspective, it was a really good game. 3 touchdowns, can't poo-poo that. From a yardage, it's like, okay, what are we doing here? To where, like Nick said, he's not going to be playing on Sunday. Like, he's going to play maybe a series. So at that point, there's no more Josh Allen, like, final argument to make. He made that final argument on Sunday. And I think what is helping Allen is the fact that he is a different candidate than Lamar, but it also might hurt him as well. Because Lamar, his candidacy is the statistical candidacy. Like stats are what's getting Lamar through this MVP conversation. And Lamar has been the beneficiary of the scheduling breaking his way. He had the Christmas game, the game before that when they played on that the Wednesday or Saturday, I believe it was, when they played the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, those are two standalone games. Steelers, really good game. And the Christmas game, great game. Like, Lamar Christmas, all the stuff that everybody was talking about was awesome. And now he gets another standalone game to where, like, Week 18 usually is not the week to make your final argument. But the fact that Lamar gets to play it on Saturday versus Sunday, to where, like, there is a little bit of a runway for him to, like, if he has a great game, it's another Lamar masterclass. I think that this could actually get even closer than what the betting market has it right now. And when you listen to everybody talk about this, everyone's saying that this is a 2-horse race, or not a 2-horse race. People think it's a 4-horse race with Burrow and Saquon Barkley, which I disagree with, but that's how people are saying it. But I do think that everyone thinks it's close. It's ridiculous. I mean, did you hear the broadcast last night? Troy Aikman said that Joe Burrow would be his vote for MVP. Like people are talking about everyone. And I think that's more so just like, hey, for conversation, if people want to acknowledge Burrow's been great, acknowledge Saquon's 2K. I think the real conversation is Lamar versus Josh Allen. That's the real one. The other stuff just seems secondary or even tertiary at this point. But we've seen...
What's the difference between those two words?
Secondary is the second one. Tertiary is like the third one. Isn't that correct? Like, isn't it like a primary is number one, secondary second, tertiary.
Is tertiary third, or is tertiary like a couple things, like potentially like it could be third, fourth?
I mean, yeah, maybe it's not second. It's another level.
Mike
below,
Brown says it's third. Okay, that's honestly. I asked that question because I didn't know the answer.
Yeah,
it's a good job.
Tertiary, yeah. There we go.
So you learned something on the show. I just learned something. I'm 41 years old. Learned something new to end 2024.
Learn something new every day, hopefully. At least we try to. But I think based on what voters have been saying, there's been a few, like Adam Shine, like he's SiriusXM, he's a voter. He said he likes Josh Allen to win the award. ESPN's Dan Orlovsky has said that right now Josh Allen's his guy for MVP. Chris Sims has a vote for NBC. He says Josh Allen's his guy. But on the same side of it, on the other side, I should say, like Mike Sando of The Athletic, he says that he likes Lamar. Diana Rossini, this morning on her podcast, said she's leaning towards Lamar. She said she's leaning towards Lamar. Lamar's going to play Saturday. Josh Allen's going to play a series. What do you think happens there? Aaron Schatz of FTN Fantasy, he said that Lamar's been his guy all season long with all the stats that he's put up. So it feels
he voted Allen last year, right? Aaron Schatz voted for Allen 100%. Last year when Lamar won. So he's going to vote for like the stat guy. And I don't even
100%.
I do say that a little derisively. Shout out to him. He invented DVOA. Like, it's awesome.
Good
for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's going to vote for Lamar 100%.
Yes, and I think Aaron Schatz is interesting, and not just to make this about him. Like, I don't think his vote is representative at all, because like Nick just said, he voted for Josh Allen last year. That was the only first place vote Josh Allen got. But like, as being like a very statistically driven person, like that's going to lead you to Lamar Jackson. Anybody who looks at the stats, it's going to lead you to Lamar, which is why we have this debate of stats versus, I guess, stats plus winning is what the Josh Allen debate is, even though his stats aren't as good. And I think a lot of it too is voter fatigue. Like, a lot of the Allen case comes down to it's Josh Allen's time to win, because he doesn't have one. Lamar has two. Mahomes has two. It's Josh Allen's time. Whether you agree or disagree, that's what the voters are telling you. So I think for me right now, like to kind of put a bow on this whole thing, I think the bet to make right now would be Lamar Jackson at plus 225 heading into Saturday's game. If I had nothing in the market, I would be betting Lamar, because I don't think Allen should be that big of a favorite. That's not to say I don't think Allen might win this award. I do think that right now he should be like minus 200, but he shouldn't be minus 300, because it's a lot closer from what the voters are telling you, and even the people who are non-voters. Everybody think that this is a really close race that might come down to Week 18, and unfortunately for Josh Allen, he's not going to get to play, and Lamar gets to play in front of everybody.
I mean this sincerely. As I've gotten older in my life, and I actually think I do, I'm self-aware enough to know like the things I do a good job with and the things I do a bad job with. When I'm around people that know more about something than me, I generally keep my mouth shut and I do not interject my opinion. Like if I have like political opinions, but like I don't follow this stuff. If I'm around people that know what they're talking about, I stay silent. I don't know, but like, you know, conversely, if like people are talking about like, you know, hey, what like which third running back on the Lions do you think is going to score? Oh, I'm chiming in. I'm giving my opinion, something I'm an expert on. Something I feel really strong about. I'm gonna give my opinion on. So look, like I always say, like Femi's better at this stuff than me. Ken was better than me. Like Drew was on the show yesterday. Well, he's better at this than me. So, you know, take this for whatever it's worth. I think Josh Allen's going to win. Like, I would not bet Lamar Jackson. So that's me. I'm telling you that Femi's opinion means more than mine. He's more in this than I am. I think that Allen's got it wrapped up. Take that for whatever it's worth.
Like, Surtain over at BetMGM's now the favorite at minus 150.
So has that happened?
That has happened at BetMGM. Surtain minus 150, Watt plus 135.
Wow,
is
so
the,
like
the new market, and that's happened within like the last 30 minutes.
Surtain like the people are betting Surtain like they know he's going to win, like they know the votes.
Yep. I could be dead wrong about Defensive Player of the Year. I have been steadfast in my like not support, because like I don't know the guy, but like in my I guess belief that TJ Watt is going to win this award. I don't know what has happened in the last 2 weeks to like cause this movement in the betting market. And I'll say that straight up, like off the rip. I don't get it. Like, we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. The Tom Pelissero NFL Network executive polled 27 executives around the NFL. These executives don't have votes, but it kind of typically goes with what the executives think in the league. We've seen it in years past where like whoever they think is going to win Defensive Player of the Year, they end up winning Defensive Player of the Year. That poll of the 27 votes, TJ Watt got 13 of them. The next closest person was Patrick Surtain with 3.5. Since that poll was conducted and since that was released to the public, the only thing that has happened is that the Steelers went 0-2, the Broncos went 0-2. So what is the cause for this flip in the market to where Surtain goes from 4-1 plus 350 to now I'm seeing it some domestic sports books as high as minus 250, Patrick Surtain the favorite to win this award? I don't understand it. I think that this is a bet on TJ Watt. I think, Nick, if TJ Watt gets a sack in prime time against probably the most sacked good quarterback we have in the league, in Joe Burrow, like that man loves taking sacks. Like if TJ Watt does that, and oh, by the way, he sacked him twice and had a forced fumble when the Steelers played the Bengals in Cincinnati earlier this season, I think TJ Watt wins this award. So yes, like Surtain, is he worthy? Yeah, Surtain's a hell of a player, one of the elite corners, maybe the best corner in the NFL. But TJ Watt's one of the best pass rushers in the NFL as well, and usually pass rushers win over corners, and maybe there's a little bit of pass rush fatigue, and that's why people don't want to see Watt doing it, because like Watt, like we'll be honest about it, like this is, from a volume standpoint with the sack numbers, this is not a typical TJ Watt season. He's usually like 17, 18, 19 sacks in a season. This year, it's at what, like 11 and a half is what the sack numbers, or 12 or whatever it is. So like this is not your typical Watt season, but I still think that he's the guy to win this award. And if you're going to give me plus money prices now to do it, as high as plus 190, I'm going to go ahead and take that. It's like Surtain, this to me feels like it's more so a bettor's creation that has caused Surtain to go out to this big of a favorite. I completely disagree with that. I think Watt's still the guy that's in the driver's seat. 10
toes down?
I'm 10 toes down. Like I'm adding more TJ Watt. And if we lose, we lose. But I'm 10 toes down.
What about comeback player of the year, where I don't even think there's a market up right now, right? Did BetMGM pull this market?
Yeah, BetMGM does not have it. Another pretty prominent domestic does have the market up, though. So we do have a market up, and it's actually moved in the last hour.
So what do we got? Tell the people and what should happen.
I think I hate this award.
I know I do.
Yeah.
I know I do.
What a difference a year makes. Joe Flacco to whatever the hell this is. The favorite right now in the market is Joe Burrow, minus 270. Sam Darnold is plus 190. I don't think there's anybody else worth talking about for this award. And it's just going to come down to, like, has Joe Burrow sort of graduated from comeback player of the year to most valuable player? Because everybody wants to talk about him for MVP. Nobody's talking about Joe Burrow and how great he's been for comeback player of the year. It's always been, if they make the playoffs, Burrow should be in the MVP conversation. It's not like if they make the playoffs, he should win comeback player of the year. And on the other side, here's the story of the season. Maybe one of the best stories in all of sports, Sam Darnold redemption arc and being like a face of a franchise for the Minnesota Vikings. And listening to the podcast, I'll give them a shout out since I listened to it and like there's a voter on there. The Athletic Scoop City podcast is the one that Dan Rossini hosts. And she talked about Sam Darnold with the Vikings athletic beat writer. And like, she just pretty much like kind of like nonchalantly says, yeah, I mean like the story of the year, and especially in the sense of like a comeback story, Sam Darnold is right at the top of that list. Like, people are thinking about this, and Nick has told you guys as well. He's friends with some of these voters. A couple of them said that they would vote for Sam Darnold to win this award. I don't think it's going to take much. I think it's maybe 15, 20 votes, and I think Sam Darnold can actually win this award. So I think right now how I would price this, because there's still that AP criteria thing hovering over Darnold, I would have Darnold like a minus 150 favorite and Burrow like plus 130. I think it's that close just because of like the weird criteria. But I do think that Sam Darnold is actually the favorite right now. And we're starting to see the betting market at some other places move in that direction, as Darnold is now a plus 190 dog and Joe Burrow is down to plus or minus 250, when about a couple of weeks ago he was like minus 1,000.
So I want to offer this context because today I was emailing with Rob Maddie. I think that's how you pronounce his name, from the Associated Press.
So.
And Rob is the guy that put the criteria out. And I was DMing with him a couple weeks ago. We got back to me today. I was asking him, like, hey, like, basically, like, what's the deal with comeback player of the year? He sent me back the piece that Mike Florio wrote, I want to say, like, maybe like a month or two ago, and highlighted a statement, like a sentence. What he highlighted, but voters won't be prevented from voting for Darnold. And Maddie added in the email, he, meaning Florio, is not wrong about the highlighted part, which tells me that Darnold votes are going to be counted and going to be accepted. And if that's the case, I think he's going to win.
I agree. I think like, if they're going to count the votes and there's no funny business going on, I think this is your comeback player of the year. It's the best story by far.
Yeah.
14-2.
Yeah. We should probably tweet this video. Just saying, guys. It's good stuff.